Thank you very much indeed. What a lovely reception. I wonder what other political party could, on a Monday night, as Christmas approaches, fill this hall here in this lovely town of Llandudno. So thank you very much indeed, all, for coming. But then that's because we're the party that's got the energy. We're the party that's got the optimism. We're the party that recognises what terrible trouble our country is in. But we're the party, and you're the people, determined to turn it around and to get us back on the right track, and that's why we're all here. Now, not that I want to spoil the upbeat mood, but it is budget week, and Rachel from Accounts will be up on Wednesday. It was Lee Anderson that called her Rachel from Accounts, and it's kind of stuck. I think the truth is she was actually Rachel from Complaints, not Accounts. And I cannot think of a Chancellor of the Exchequer in my lifetime more completely, utterly, hopelessly out of their depth as Rachel Reeves. It is a disaster. A disaster. Now, we don't know what's going to be in the budget, although kind of maybe we do, I don't know. I thought Sir Lindsay Hoyle, the Speaker, calling it the hokey-cokey budget was about right. You know, 1 minute it's tax rises for everybody, the next minute it's not. What we do know, what we absolutely do know, is that it will be an attack on people that work hard, an attack on people that do well, an attack on those that have got big houses or money, and actually an attack on the very idea of young people going out into the world and working hard and doing well. And I'll give you an example of this. All through the 1990s, I ran my own business. Now that would automatically disqualify me from the Labour cabinet. because not one of them has ever run a business or frankly got a clue. Anyway, during the 90s, I ran my own business, and in the good years, I put money aside. I put money aside into my self-invested pension plan. I didn't buy flash cars, didn't take the family off to the West Indies. I put money into that private pension pot. And I did it because I thought, well, I've got to provide for myself as somebody who's self-employed. But I also did it because I believed that if I disappear off the face of the earth, that money will be there for the rest of the family. That's why I did it. But I get a letter this April confirming what I already know, which is from 2027, the money in your pension pot will be subject to inheritance tax. And you know what I thought? Why the hell did I bother? Why the hell did I bother to work hard and save money? I might as well have just spent it all down the pub or whatever. But that's what they're doing, isn't it? That is what they're doing. And because there'll be no cuts to the ballooning welfare bill, those that now go out to work, alarm clock Britain, those that get up and do their jobs, in many cases are little better off than those who choose not to work. And we have to be the party that's on the side of working people, contributing to society, paying their taxes. Nobody else is on their side. We are the party of Alarm Clock Britain, not Rachel Reeves, and certainly not the Conservatives.
We're living in a time of what feels like pretty significant social change, and it makes us question things that we've even taken for granted for decades. And one of those at the moment that people are wondering about is actually money. Is the money in your bank account safe? Should you be investing elsewhere? Are we looking at a potential global crash? What will it mean for your savings? Is there a way that you could be using your money that might be outside of government control even? Well, TallyMoney is potentially one solution. So I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the CEO and founder of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. What is TallyMoney?
Well, at TallyMoney, you basically get gold you can spend. So we give people an individual account in their name, everyday account. They get a sort code, an account number. They use that account just like they would pounds from their bank, but it's milligrams of gold that we brand as Tally.
Okay. Why would you do that, though? What is the benefit to the customer instead of just having a normal pound sterling account?
Gold's performance against the pound is above 11% per annum over the last 25 years on average. But we still need money in our daily lives, and we have savings. We know that it's good common sense and prudent to save up for things, not just living credit. You know, whether it's a holiday or a rainy day, your retirement planning, you need to have money in your life, basically, that you can rely on, that's dependable, that nobody meddles with, that nobody can weaponize against you, which is another element of government control when it's the government currency, which we could talk about another time. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward, and that's what we deliver at Tally. And really, we just want people to feel safe and happy with their money. There was a time when the bigger your bank balance, the more confident you felt. Now it's like, I need to do something with it. I can't leave it there. In Tally, you can.
Okay, brilliant. Cameron Parry from TallyMoney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev.
I feel strongly about that. And the other thing we know is that the exodus will continue. Now, we got the figures last week. Last year, 257,000 people left this country. They left because taxes are too high. They left because laws have changed. But they left because if you're young and want to set up a business, and want to work hard, and want to do well, Portugal, Italy, Greece, the UAE, Dubai, Australia, America, these are now more tempting places for our brightest and best young people to go. It is a tragedy for our country that huge numbers of young, bright, intelligent people are leaving. And you know, if our rich people leave, they're also our biggest taxpayers. And if our biggest taxpayers leave, that means that everybody else earning average incomes has to pay more. And no party's got the guts or courage to stand up and say this. It was Jeremy Hunt that launched this attack, that started this exodus, and I fear that after Thursday, this exodus will get bigger. When we're in government, we will make sure that the people who pay the most tax come back to Britain and pay tax into this country, benefiting us and benefiting ordinary workers. And we have to do that, and we must do that, and we've got to get it right. We've got to get it right. Now that's enough said about Rachel Reeves for one day. Some of us have to sit there and watch the whole thing, you know, at very close quarters. Hopefully she won't burst into tears, but maybe the rest of you will burst into tears by the end of the speech. And we have a Prime Minister who seems to be now obsessed with me. Now, not in that way, I promise you. Every Prime Minister's questions, all he can do is hurl abuse. And this is because never before has a government with a big majority collapsed in public opinion and public trust as quickly as Starmer's government. He doesn't believe in a single thing. He's a man without principles. He is not a leader. He is bad for Britain. But the good news is he won't be long for the job. Now, he makes me laugh, actually. The weakest Prime Minister that I can think of in my lifetime now calls me spineless. But he does come out with some very serious accusations. He throws the charge of racism at us and at me. Funny, isn't it, according to The Guardian, how some of the people I was at school with 49 years ago seem to have such good memories. But the one serious point I will address, as we're here in Wales, and you've seen it all over the Welsh media, is the issue of Nathan Gill, who was a long-time UKIP MEP and Brexit Party, and briefly, in 2021, albeit very briefly, he was leader of Reform Wales. Now, the fact that he has taken money, has taken bribes to ask questions from a Russian influencer is, of course, an absolute and total disgrace, and we disown his actions, and we disown what he's done in every single way. I'm not afraid to stand up and say that, because it is the truth. But you know what? You know what? Being honest is the right approach. But just think about this. Okay, we found somebody who was in the European Parliament for previous parties that was corrupt. That of itself in British politics is not exactly unique. And think about this. This government, one of their MPs has taken £500,000 in payment to his office from somebody that we now know is a Chinese spy. Think of this, that we're about to approve the new mega embassy for China to be built on the site of the old Royal Mint on Tower Hill. Think of those two spies in Parliament, and charges against them suddenly were mysteriously dropped. If I've had a problem with one corrupt individual, we as a country have a problem with a government that appears to be in hock to the Chinese Communist Party, and that is against our national interests and ought to be investigated and brought out into the open.